Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have quite the story for you today. This is a corporation that I did not think was going to be marred in any kind of Pride Month controversy because at the end of the day, Starbucks is a company that we all know is mega woke, right? Like most of the women who are perfectly fine with their own erasure and being told what to do by a man as long as that man wears a dress, those women are the ones that shop at Starbucks, right? Like they're the ones who are perfectly fine with all of this. They're the ones who are fine with shilling for the LGBTQ. Starbucks is definitely not one of those companies that is afraid to show how woke they are. This is the reason why they get made fun of so much. But apparently, according to a Twitter thread that just recently came out from a Twitter profile called Starbucks Workers United, says breaking, in the middle of Pride Month, Starbucks bans pride decorations in stores across the United States. I don't believe this to be true, ladies and gentlemen, but again, we're going to get into this story and see what they're saying because I do have an updated story at the time of this filming. So let's get into this stuff, guys. But of course, before we do, just consider giving us a like so you can push us out into the YouTube algorithm and consider subscribing because we're on our way to 25,000 subscribers. So if you look through this thread here over on Twitter from Starbucks Workers United, it says for the last 2 weeks, Starbucks workers have taken to social media to report that the company is no longer allowing pride decorations in store. This seems to be the first year that the publicly pro-LGBTQ plus company has taken this kind of stance, taking a cue from Target, who bowed to anti-LGBTQ pressure and removed pride merchandise. Corporate and district management are taking down the pride decorations that have become an annual tradition in stores. In union stores where Starbucks claims they are unable to make unilateral changes without bargaining, the company took down pride decorations and flags anyway, ignoring their own anti-union talking point. Ladies and gentlemen, this is massive, okay? This is massive because you got to think about this for a second. This is a corporation. Starbucks is a corporation that are absolutely virtue signalers, right? This is something that we've known for I don't even know how long, right? Like Starbucks and virtue signaling goes hand in hand, right? Every basic bitch goes and shops at Starbucks, right? Like this is something that we've known for a long time. And it's fine. If you like Starbucks, hey, more power to you. That's the beauty of capitalism. Go spend your money the way you want to. But just realize that Starbucks as a corporation is definitely the corporation that not only hires in a very overly diverse way to make sure that their ESG scores are maximum, but they also try to push out the messaging at the max as well. This is something we see all the time. So this is not shocking to me when I see, oh, Starbucks makes a pro-LGBTQ stance. Not shocking. What is shocking is Starbucks saying, oh, we're going to ban all pride merchandise in the store. That is shocking to me. And that's why I think this is not necessarily true. And supposedly it's not true. But we're going to continue to see where exactly this all started before we get into the final article. So it says Starbucks is powered by many queer workers, but management has failed to materially support the LGBTQ community. Last October, some workers have reported that their transgender benefit plan changed, causing them to pay out-of-pocket fees and lose access to certain providers. What is a transgender benefit plan? Like what is that? Like I'm trying not to laugh, but what is that even like? Is that a thing? Is that a thing? Like what care can you get that other males and females cannot get? What are you talking about? Getting your hormones paid for? Is that essentially what we're making insurance companies do now? We got to pay for your hormones. We got to pay for your bottom surgery, your top surgery, all this other stuff. Like this is what we got to pay for? Seriously? And I also like the fact that they try to make it seem as if Starbucks is powered by mainly only queer workers. They're like, oh, it's powered by many queer workers. All right. What about the other 95% of workers that probably aren't queer? What about them? They get ignored 24/7. You get ignored for just a day, and now all of a sudden you're losing your mind. It's ridiculous. If Starbucks was a true ally, here we go with the true ally nonsense. If Starbucks was a true ally, they would stand up for us, especially during a time when LGBTQ people are under attack. A company that cares wouldn't turn their back on the LGBTQ plus community to protect their already astronomically high profits. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, they would. Yes, they would. A company absolutely would turn their back on anybody to protect their already astronomically high profits. I'm glad you're finally realizing this. People who work for Starbucks who are queer and people who work for Target who are queer, you guys need to realize that you were just being used, just like everybody else, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry if you really thought in the back of your mind that these corporations gave a shit about you. I'm sorry if that was genuinely a thought in your brain, but but let it be known, people, these corporations do not care. They don't care about you. They don't care about your cause. They only care about paying you as little as they possibly can and taking as much money from you as they possibly can if you're a customer. That's the only two things that they care about, and if they got to turn their back on you, even if it's momentarily, they absolutely will let you burn so that they can get maximum profits. This is just the truth of the matter, and the faster you accept this, the better you probably will be mentally. It says true allyship with the LGBTQ community is negotiating a union contract that legally locks in our benefits, our freedom of expression, and ways to hold management accountable. What kind of nonsense is this, ladies and gentlemen? Think about this for a second. If you cannot have someone go into a Starbucks and is an employee, right, and rock a MAGA hat, then you should not be allowed to make any kind of political statements in your store as well, just because you're gay, right? Like, so if you cannot have someone go into a store and wear certain kind of political affiliation stuff, you should not be able to do that either. Now, you're going to say, oh, well, it's not politics, it's gender expression. Okay, I identify as someone who doesn't deal with this nonsense. What now? What now? You have opened up the door to a mass spectrum of all these fake gender identities, right? So I can make up whatever fucking gender identity I want to make up. There's no book that says, oh, these gender identities exist, right? There's nothing, there's no book, there's no guideline you guys follow. So I can make up whatever the fuck I want. So I identify as someone who is over this bullshit. That's who I identify as, and I want to be able to rock my gender expression while working at Starbucks. So I want to be able to wear a shirt that says there's only two genders. I want to be able to wear like a rainbow flag, but inverted. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be able to rock my shit. And if I can't rock my shit and you can, that's a problem to me. Now, with that being said, that's the end of this particular thread from Twitter. Now, I have an updated article here from TNR that says, headline, Starbucks denies union allegations of a ban on pride decorations. The coffee chain maintains it is not caving to far-right attacks on LGBTQ people despite union reports. It's amazing to me how it's just far-right people that are attacking LGBTQ, even though there is a ton of gay people who are over rainbow capitalism, but this is just a thing now. It says Starbucks has banned pride decorations in stores halfway through Pride Month, the company workers union claimed Tuesday. If true, it would be a stunning cave to far-right anti-LGBTQ fury, but the coffee chain denies that any such policy is in place. There has been a wave of ultra-conservative pushback against companies that express support for equal rights. What equal rights? What equal rights? Can somebody please explain to me what rights are you fighting for? What rights are you fighting for that you don't already have? You have the same rights as everybody else, ladies and gentlemen. What are you fighting for? You don't even know what you're fighting for. You're only told to be angry at people and go and fight in some made-up cause. You don't even know what you're fighting for. Half of the people out there claiming they want equal rights as a gay person or queer person or whatever, they have no idea what they're fighting for. The only laws that are being passed are preventing surgeries and certain hormones and puberty blockers to be administered to people under the age of 18, which I absolutely agree with, because you don't know the ramifications of your actions until you are nearing adulthood. After that point, you do whatever you want, boo. You want to cut off something? By all means, go for it. I don't agree with it, but that's your life. You're the one who wants to ruin it, so ruin it. I'm okay with that. But these kids need an opportunity to be able to at least get to a certain age where they can understand what's happening. But the problem is these people are so desperate to recruit younger and younger people, because the faster you could get to them when they're young, the more chance you're going to be able to convince them of your ideology. That's the whole point of it, right? That's the word indoctrination. That's where it comes from. So you are trying to indoctrinate these young kids because you don't want to be the only one who made a bad decision. That's essentially what it is. You got convinced of it, right? You're the one who grew up into this ideology. You cut all your shit off and now you're regretting it. So you want to spread the misery to other people. So yeah, you're going to try to convince the younger people to do the same thing you did so that you don't have to live in the misery that you created for yourself. That's what I see. Personally, at the end of the day, I could be wrong. People could say I'm wrong, and I'm okay with that. But all I'm saying is that we've been saying it for time and time again, leave the kids alone. Leave the fucking kids alone. Like, they have no reason to be involved in any of this. No adult discussion should be happening around a child, ultimately, at the end of the day. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to have all these conversations with these kids, which is crazy. It says it started when Bud Light did a campaign with transgender grifter Dylan Mulvaney in March, but things really kicked off when Target displayed its Pride swimwear collection. Target said it will pull back its Pride merchandise in response to an outcry, which we've discussed many times over the course of this channel. For the last 2 weeks, Starbucks workers have taken to social media to report that the company is no longer allowing Pride decorations in store, the Starbucks worker union tweeted. But Starbucks spokesperson Andrew Troll said there's been no change to corporate policy regarding displays for Pride or any other Heritage Month. We unwaveringly support the LGBTQIA2+, I don't even know what the 2 is for, community, he said in a statement. There have been no change to any policy on this matter, and we continue to encourage our store leaders to celebrate with their communities, including for US Pride Month in June. Ladies and gentlemen, this entire long-ass acronym that started as LG and LGB, the moment it got to TQIA2, whatever the fuck 2 is, I guess that's the age of entry, plus community, this is what happens when you don't gatekeep. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you don't gatekeep and you try to be so inclusive that you let anybody in. And guess what? Now they've completely co-opted your community. They're using it for their own sick fucking agendas. And now you're fighting against your own community. Because I see a bunch of normal-ass gay people fighting against this nonsense right here. And that's because you guys let them in the first place. So I hope that you successfully fight off this. Otherwise, you're going to have to probably go down with the ship, which is really sad to see. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.